Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So today's video, what are we doing?
Scarred heroes and romance.
I might have a scarred heroine, but we're gonna go with it.
Oh, okay.
I do. I was like, oh, it's scarred heroes, but then I found one and I was like, but this is so good, and it's a scarred heroine. It's one, so I'm just gonna roll with it. So,
Okay.
but for the most part, they're scarred heroes. So, okay. Well, before we start talking about the scarred heroes, it's your turn.
Well, we would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and like and comment. Tell us what you think about scarred heroes. Is this a trope you like? I guess this is more of like a micro trope. So is this one you like when you come upon it?
Yeah.
Tell us all about the scarred heroes.
I do. I like it. Do you like it?
Yeah, but it's not one that I'm like, ooh, I need to go find a scarred hero romance.
No. And it's harder to find. Most authors, I mean, if it's like a real significant scar, the author might say something about it, but typically it's not one you're going to see on a trope list. Sometimes you do, but it's something where you start reading the book and then realize, oh, he's scarred. So, yeah.
And then I get giddy because I can put it in my trope book for when we just do this one.
Me too. Same. All right, well, let's start talking. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to talk about is one where we don't necessarily see the scars on the outside. They're on the inside, but they cause an outward manifestation. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
This is gotta be a monster romance.
No, this is protected by Claire Kent. This is a post-apocalyptic romance. So this is one of her newer ones. She had a release since this one, but this one I really enjoyed. So this is about Lila and Deck. So Deck doesn't speak at all. He's the trauma of the apocalypse. So this is post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic. I can't talk tonight. But because of the trauma from that, he doesn't speak at all. He doesn't want to speak. He went through quite a bit when that happened. But this is the story is about Lila. She has been surviving for the last 2 years since the apocalypse happened with her boyfriend who has since died. And so she's just been trying to survive. And she's been living in a fast food store or fast food restaurant that's right across from this big Walmart. And then when people pull up at the Walmart, because you'll get these hives of people, these big groups of people who are trying, they go to see if there's any supplies they can get from the Walmart, then she'll sneak into their vehicles and she'll steal whatever she needs to survive as far as food and whatever. So this happens, a convoy pulls up, she goes to the back of this Jeep, she goes to get food out of the back of the Jeep, and that is when Deck grabs her and pulls her out. And he is with this group of survivors, and they decide that they're going to keep her, and they're going to because she's better off if she's with them, but she's not very thrilled about it. But they forcefully decide that they're going to keep her and have her travel with them, and Deck assigns himself as her protector. And so this is where their story goes. So it's great.
Okay. My first one is one I've talked about a few times, but it works for this one. And I really, really enjoyed this one. So if you've not read it, go read it. It's good. So this is Royal Heart by Nana Malone. So we have Damon. Damon is a thief, and Ari's dad trained him in his thievery. So we're not talking like we break into people's houses and, look for some hidden jewels and some cash. Like this is like big time, like art thief, big heist, which we just recently saw all about in the news. So think about that. Okay, so Ari is like, she really dislikes Damon because her dad refused to let her be in the business. And so she actually kind of spied on her dad to learn all about the different stuff. And she was upset that he took him in as like his protege and kind of turned his back on her in that world. Well, her dad is passed and she like just despises Damon. So she actually works kind of on the right side of the law doing recovery in these sorts of things. When she is contacted, or her company is contacted to go undercover to this auction. What was it called? The Black Rose auction. And this is where you can buy all these illegal things. You can buy people there. You can buy like stolen goods that are worth lots and lots of money. Like it's just a really like elite auction with like shady shit going down. And so Ari is contacted, or her company is contacted to go undercover to this auction to retrieve a jewel, the royal heart that was stolen. And nobody wants anybody to know that it's stolen. So this is like on the down low. But Damon is friends with the person that it got stolen from. And so he is there like trying to get her to work with him. And she does not want to, but basically her boss says, I'm going to fire you if you don't. Like he kind of, lays it out. So they have to go undercover and they're monitored and watched by the people that run this auction for weeks ahead of time before they can actually go. So they have to pretend to be a couple during all of this. And again, she despises him. But Damon has a scar, which we learn more about. He's like scarred in the face. And we learn more about that in the book about why that might be significant. And I can't figure it. There we go.
I know. I was waiting. I could see where I needed to hit the button if you couldn't make it happen. That button's just a pain in the butt. Okay.
I think it's just a memory thing. Like we've got to remember where it is now because it's actually, I feel like it's easier once you know what to do, but then it doesn't like always work the first time I hit it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, the next book I have is a newer release. It came out a week or two ago. This is Grimm by Joe Arden and DJ Krimmer. This is a like a Grim Reaper romance, kind of. Well, not really, kind of. It really is. So this is about our heroine who is Rue. She has a heart condition and she is dying. So she also has a scar because she's had heart surgery. She's in her early 20s and she's dying and she knows it and she doesn't have much time left. Her father also died from the heart condition. And so she is, one day is out at her father's gravesite and she just feels funny and then all of a sudden she's dead and Grimm shows up, which his name is actually Kane, and he is basically the Reaper that's going to take her to the other side. And when he gets like when he realizes it's her, like he can touch her, he can feel her, and he hasn't touched another person since he died hundreds of years ago. And there's a few other things that happen that make her special, and he realizes that she wasn't supposed to die yet, and so he brings her back, which is a huge no-no. And because of the way he brought her back, she can see spirit, she can see the supernatural, and talk to them and stuff too. So she's kind of in between worlds at this point. But when she brings him back, he begs her to tell, or she begs him to tell her when she was supposed to die, because she knew that her time was so very limited. And he tells her that he's got her, like for now she's okay, but when her day comes, he's gonna have to reap her again, and that day is 9 days from now. And so she has a very limited time, but he is assigned as a guardian basically for her. Now he also has a scar that he is trying to keep hidden from her because it tells the story of what happened to him, how he died, and how he became a Reaper. So it is something that we hear talked about quite a bit in the book, or it's alluded to, but it is something that he is trying to keep from her. So you'll learn more about that when you read it. And by the way, the audio for this book is amazing. If you loved the Ravenhood series and you loved Joe Arden as Tobias, I was picturing Tobias the whole time because he has a French accent in this one. So good. The other ones are good too, but it just sounded like Tobias. The other narrators are great. So,
all right.
Okay,
my next one is Deal with the Devil by Deborah Garland. And this is about Katya.
Yeah.
Katya.
Yep.
It's Katya. Katya?
Yeah.
Okay, Katya. And Katya is the illegitimate daughter of the head of the Brafta. It's late. I can't talk anymore.
I know it's late.
And
yes.
By late, it's 6:30. Anyway. She is the illegitimate daughter of this dude, and he wants nothing to do with her, but her sister runs away before he can marry her off. So then he decides, well, now I'm going to force you into this marriage with this other Russian mafia guy, and he's really abusive. He gives her a black eye the night before their wedding and then goes off with some other woman. Like, he's just horrifically abusive. Well, her and Lachlan have, I don't know. They kind of have like this thing going, and Lachlan is not okay with what's happening, and so he like storms the wedding and takes her. But he's also got a scar, so he's our scarred mafia hero, which I feel like scarred mafia hero is pretty common in the mafia
Mm-hmm.
world. So he storms in and stops the wedding and takes her, which, as you know, in the mafia world, when there's an arranged marriage, that is not going to go over well at all. And there's going to be a lot of fallout and things to deal with. And obviously, her dad is an ass.
Oh, they all are. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, my next hero is probably the most scarred out of all of my scarred heroes, because he's very heavily scarred. So this is Burn for Me by Effie Campbell. This is also mafia. It's more mafia adjacent, but it is also mafia. So this is about Laura and Phoenix. Phoenix is a fixer. So he works for the mafia on like they hire him kind of a basis where when they want a scene scrubbed and scrubbed by fire, they will call Phoenix and he will come, and he has his own homemade accelerant that he makes that burns clean, and he will set the bodies and the site on fire and get rid of the evidence for the mafia guys. He gets paid to do this. And so one day he gets a call from a mafia dude, a really bad man, about a scene that they want gone. It's a home and there's bodies inside and they want it gone. And so Phoenix shows up, and when he gets there, you know, he's pouring his accelerant and he sees the bodies, and he goes upstairs and he sees that someone who's there, it's a girl and she's not quite dead yet. And that is Laura. And so he makes a way to get her out, and he takes her with him, and he keeps her safe whether she likes it or not. But the thing with Phoenix is that he doesn't speak. He has been in a fire, and he was in such a horrendous fire that his whole face is burned. He wears a mask all the time, but his face, especially from like the eyes down, is burned. His lips are sealed together because of it, except for a very small hole that he can put a straw in. So he's very, very, very scarred. Very scarred.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
My next one is Penn by Juniper Millikin. This is not a dark romance. It's romantic suspense. So I know kind of the theme of this video has been dark romance. So I just want to point that out, that this one is not on the dark romance spectrum. So this is the first book in the Olive Township, and it is based on The Princess Bride. So before I actually read this, I went and watched The Princess Bride because I'd never seen it. So Penn returns to Olive Township where they live to settle some affairs, but he was in the military, so he has some scars and some injuries. And so when he shows back into town, Daisy does not recognize him, and Daisy does not believe in true love anymore, and so she is set to marry someone else who, it's more like a friendly, like almost like it wasn't a pact, but you know what I mean, like when people are like, if when we're 30, if we still haven't gotten married, let's just get married. It's kind of like where she's just been like, you know, he'll make a good husband, I can be a good wife, like this is just what's expected of me type situation. But there's no love or spark, and there is love, but like a friendship love. So there's no, you know, chemistry, spark, all of that stuff that most people would have when they're getting married. And the whole town is like super, super excited about this. And so it's like a big deal. Everyone's talking about Daisy's upcoming wedding, and her and Penn start to spend a little time together. And like, if you kind of follow The Princess Bride, then you kind of understand where this is going to go. I really, really liked it a lot. And that scarred hero, the whole scar thing plays into it because of his injuries.
Is this the book that made you read The Princess Bride, or had you read The Princess Bride already?
Well, if you were listening when I first talked, I said, so
Okay.
I watched The Princess Bride.
Oh, sorry. I was reading my notes. I missed that. Oopsie. Sorry.
Well, hopefully the people that listen pay better attention to me
I
than
think
you
that they do. I was totally just reading the back of my book to see how much of this I could give away for my next book. So, okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, on that happy note, so the next book I have is the one that has my scarred heroine, and that is Dreadful by Greer Rivers. This is the third book in her Tattered Curtains novels, but you can read it as a standalone. You can read any one of those as a standalone. But this is a Sweeney Todd Medusa retelling, which is very unique, and I really enjoyed it. This is about Talia and Sever. So Sever is the nephew to the head of the mafia, and when he was younger, his father and his uncle both ruled their own little mafia area respectively, but they were always battling it out as to who would be in charge or who would be the leader. And so when he was a young boy under the age of 10, he was kidnapped by his uncle and he was kept in a basement. It was supposed to make a man out of him, but it was also kind of a way for him to get a dig in on Sever's father. And so while he was being held captive in this basement, there was a little girl being held captive in the cell next to his. And there were horrible, horrible things that were happening to this little girl that should never happen. And she had this list in her head of all these people that she had to go through before she could get out and escape. And one day that escape happened, the opportunity arose, and he and her took off. And before they could get, like, he got over the wall because there was a wall surrounding the compound. And before she could get over the wall, the dogs were released and she sacrificed herself for Sever. So now we fast forward 15 years later, and Sever walks into this restaurant, and that is where he meets Talia. And Talia is, she's sugar and spice, but she's also, got a little bite to her. And he likes her immediately. And there's, he's out for revenge. So is she. She is doing things behind the scenes in the shadows, and he kind of catches her doing something. So and then things kind of go from there with their, I can't tell you much more because it's kind of crazy, but she has scars down the side of her face and on her neck, things that she tries to hide and keep from him because she has her reasons. So there you go with that one. He probably has a scar or two as well. I just don't remember if he actually did. Just saying. Mafia boys get scars. It happens. Then they get tattoos to cover the scars.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your next one?
My next one is one that I think that you probably talked about the last time we did Scarred Hero, but I'm just
I don't know
gonna.
if I did.
Well, maybe you didn't then,
Okay.
but I didn't. I don't know that I'm always good about remembering to write them down because there's one that I'm like, I know that I read this one, and I was going through it in my head, like how I know the guy knew the hero was scarred, and I'm like, what book was that? And I cannot think of what it was, and I don't think I had it written down. So, anyways, Devil of Dublin is up next.
Yes. Such a good book. Okay.
By B.B. Easton. Yes. So if you've not read this, go do it. I was really surprised. Like, it's got some good ratings on it, but I'm surprised that it's not a lot more than what it is.
Yeah.
So this is about Darby. Darby goes to Ireland to visit, isn't it her grandpa? She goes to visit her grandpa. Yep. She wanders kind of off into the forest, and she's not supposed to. Like, she's kind of told one of those stories that kids get told to keep them safe. But she doesn't really listen. So she wanders off quite far into the woods, and she comes upon a little boy playing. And he's obviously, when we are reading the book, we know he's been neglected and that nobody really takes care of him. And it's really just kind of sad for him. And he is also mute. And she is really the only person in his life that shows him kindness. And she's not, so they form like this tight little bond, and she's supposed to like continuously come back to visit him, but as they get older she's not able to, and when she does return she's engaged, and she goes looking for him, or he comes. I don't remember how they end up finding each other again. Somehow I think she goes looking where they used to hang out.
Yeah, I think so. He shows up at her house that night too, so he must be aware that she's there somehow.
Yes. And she is now engaged, and he is not happy about that. And he is also our scarred hero, which if you have the male model cover, like you can see like his big scar on the cover of that. So really good Irish mafia romance with a scarred hero. Okay. Who is also mute, as Jessica loves her heroes.
Love it when they're mute.
Is
Okay.
that because you want to project that into your real life?
Just want to read and nobody
Make,
bug me and
make your
when they're mute.
husband mute.
You know, he's not a big talker, so it's kind of like he already is. So, okay. Anyhow, for my last book, this is one of the books that this is going to be at in my top reads of the year. This is Juniper Unraveling by Carrie Lake. I've talked about it a few times, but I love it so much. I wish I could read it again, like all over again the first time, but I can't. Okay, so fix yourself. Okay, so this book is post-apocalyptic. It is dark. It's got some heavy themes. It's still very good. But this is the story of Danny. And this gets a little confusing. So this is Danny starts out as our heroine in the beginning of this book. She is 14, and she and her mom, her 3-year-old little sister and brother, they're twins, all live in what they call a hive. And basically that's just kind of like a group of people. And they all live together and they're trying to survive the apocalypse. Well, the opening scene, Danny's mom is cutting all of her hair off, and she is mumbling to herself that they only keep the boys. They only take the boys. And what she's talking about is there's a group of guys that come around. I seriously cannot remember what they call these guys, but these guys will come around and they will take boys from these hives, and they do not leave anybody else left standing. So they will murder the women. And so her mom is trying to save her life. She knows these guys are coming, and she is trying to make Danny look like a boy. And so horrible things happen in the beginning. She and her little brother are taken. And she's taken to like out in the desert, and there is like a hospital out there, and they experiment on these kids. And so we see what happens to her and her brother in the beginning of this book. She is actually taken under the wing by a doctor, and she is saved because if they find out that she's a girl, they're going to do horrific things to her, and then they're going to kill her anyway. So he kind of protects her and saves her. Then we get to the second half of the book where we see the story of Wren and Sit. So Wren is the daughter to a doctor who works at this compound. And one day her father tells her, like he's always told her not to go near the wall, don't go near the wall, because the compound where these people live who work in the facility is walled off. And so she goes to a part of the compound or part of the town that they're in where she's not supposed to. And she sees this boy through this little hole in the fence, and that is 6. He doesn't talk. He's mute at this point. Obviously I like that. And he is very scarred and he is very damaged. And she finds a way to get him over the wall and to hide him in her room. And then we see their story take form. It's really hard to explain it because there's so much that happens in this book. I promise you just have your one story, but it works itself out. You figure it out eventually, and how they all play into each other. But oh, that series is so friggin' good. And all the guys are scarred in all 4 books because you can't experiment on people without them being scarred. Just saying.
All right.
Okay.
Well, when you said your book by Greer Rivers, it made me chuckle because she must like her hero scarred.
We all do.
But that was a heroine that was scarred. So this is a hero that is scarred. Okay. And this is Unveil by Greer Rivers, obviously. It's a dark Swan Lake retelling, but you do not have to have any concept of Swan Lake to really enjoy this, because I have 0 concept of it and I loved it. And also, you do not have to have read the first generation, those other 3 books, to really love this one. So in this, we have feuding families, and we have Luna's dad, so who, along with his 2 friends, so these would be the 3 guys from the first 3 books, are out drunk, gambling. Great combination right there. And they gamble away their daughter's hands in marriage when they turn 22. And Luna, and now we fast forward like a decade later, and the men are ready to come collect on this. And the dads are like, no. And Luna is already dating someone else. And she is performing in a ballet. It's going to be like one of her last ones that she gets to do because she's now 22, getting out of college and all of that. And at the end, her current boyfriend kind of comes up on the stage and proposes to her. Everyone is there, so she says yes, even though she's really not that into him. And Orion, who she was promised to, is there to collect her because this is also the eve of her 22nd birthday. And he is none too happy about all of this. So he like basically tries to, well, he kidnaps her. He's also our scarred hero, which we learn a lot more about as the book goes on. And they are now on the run because nobody is happy that he has taken her. But fun fact, he has met her already and when he was masked, and they had some fun together. So they're now on the run together. And there's a lot of mental health rep in this, which is really, really good. So if you've not heard our author interview with Greer Rivers, I encourage you to go listen to it. It was a really, really good one.
Yeah.
And she's a phenomenal author too. So
Gosh, I've loved every book I've read by her. Like I think they've all been 5 stars.
mhm.
I mean, there's been 3 of them, but they've all been 5 stars. So yeah. All
I'm
right.
so
Well,
cold again.
it's because is it rainy?
It's not raining right now, but apparently it's supposed to pour tomorrow.
Fun.
Yay.
Yay!
Western Washington. I know, you love it. I'm like,
I do.
ugh.
I do. So
I want to go
all
back
right.
to Vegas to where the sun is.
Mhm.
The next
It
time I
wasn't
get
that
to
warm though. Like it was okay, but a few degrees cooler, and it wouldn't have been that warm.
well, I still really enjoyed the sunshine.
I know you did.
The next time I'll get to be in the warm sunshine will probably be when we go to Phoenix.
Yes, because Phoenix is before Texas. Yes, probably.
I know when we go to Texas, I am scheduling in outdoor time for myself.
Do we have a pool?
I don't know.
We need to figure that out.
I will
All
just
right.
go lay in front of the hotel.
But we're
on the
going to
lawn.
Dallas, right? Are we going to Dallas?
I thought so.
Dallas is actually kind of cold in the winter.
That's interesting because somebody else told me that Dallas in March would be pretty warm.
I don't
That
know,
I
but
should be able to get some sunshine.
I've been to Dallas, Fort Worth, like in February, and it is not warm at all. So hopefully, fingers crossed. So, all right.
Look it
Well, they
up.
don't want to hear about all this. So let's wrap this up,
Dallas
then we can figure it out.
weather. Wrap it up, Jessica.
You gotta
Dallas
wrap up.
weather March. Dun, dun, dun. Temperatures are generally mild, ranging from the mid 60s to mid 80s.
Okay, well, let's hope.
That sounds nice.
That's warm
Compared
for
to
us.
here, that's going to be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Now that we've settled that, let's wrap her up.
Well, make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And we have some Wednesday interviews coming up that you're not going to want to miss either.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.